Hey everyone, Emma Ansa here. Thanks so much for tuning into the Black Experience. We're going to talk about Dr. Umar Johnson. He was here in Toronto on October 4th, and I had the pleasure of going out and meeting him and asked some questions. One of the questions that were asked was, what can we in Canada as a community do to come together better? How can we take control of our economy? What would be the best way for the Black group here to really be able to get control over everything that's appropriated by other races of people, other communities, and also the other communities that are doing and able to build. And we see all of these pockets in Toronto of like Little Greek Town and Chinatown and Little India. But when it comes to us as a Black community, we don't really have an area. I would say there is an area, but it's in the process of gentrification at this point. And of all areas, it had to be the area where Black people congregate. And to my Toronto family, you guys will know where I'm talking about. And I'm talking about Little Jamaica, which is the span of Eglinton Avenue West that goes all the way across to Dufferin. And that's Little Jamaica. And there we have barbershops, salons, Black supply shops, and other little businesses, fast food restaurants. But, and this can be another topic that I will talk about on another day, they are trying to take over that area. So let's hear about what Dr. Umar Johnson has to say, and then we'll talk about it further. Take a look.
Alabama, all the way to Toronto, and that is gossiping about each other. The gossip is killing, it erodes unity, and it erodes trust. Stop talking about each other, because nothing you say will remain a secret, because Black people don't believe in secrets, you understand? So you gotta have that African unity, you gotta have that international roundtable. The other thing we need to do, and let me say this, y'all, wherever I go, people always ask me, what country, what community can you point to as an example for the rest of us to follow? I get this right out. And the answer is nowhere. I haven't been anywhere on the earth yet where Black people are in control and doing something to the point that I feel every other community on the globe should replicate it. Because no matter where I go, we got white Jesus. No matter where I go, we got still money crisis. No matter where I go, we got unemployment, mass incarceration of Black males. No matter where I go, we got single mothers trying to raise men. No matter where I go, the Black economy is dominated by another group. That's a global reality. We don't control our economics nowhere on earth, not even in the mother continent. I'm saying that to say, why can't Toronto be the start? Why can't y'all be the ideal community that every other community in the diaspora looks to as an example of what we need to be? And to that point, Father, we need to bring back Council of Elders. Everybody here who's over 65 and older, y'all need to start having meetings to talk about building a Council of Elders in Canada. You have your Toronto branch, you have your Montreal branch, you have your Oshawa, you have your Nova Scotia, and all points beyond. And the reason we need a Council of Elders is if the Nigerian brothers are beefing with the Ghanaian brothers, guess what? You got elders from Nigeria and Ghana who are going to sit both sides down and say this is not what we do as African people. The elders, the Council of Elders are our law and order. If we had a functioning, responsible, and respected Council of Elders, a lot of the conflict that we have would cease to exist. So I really urge you all, and we're about to start doing this in America. As soon as my school is ready, God willing, before the end of the year, we just got to do some floors that we've done. And let me say thank you to all of y'all who donate. We get a lot of donations from Canada. So shout out to Canada when it comes to the Frederick Garvey Academy. But we plan on having a conference for Council of Elders. And not everybody who's old is an elder. We got to make sure we choose the people that are respected, choose the people who got a legacy of community service, choose the people who other people respect, but we need the elders back. Because if we had them, there would be so much less conflict. but it all starts with organizing.
So he starts off by saying that we should stop gossiping about each other. That would be good. That is something that definitely happens a lot in our community. And if we spent less time talking about each other and talking to each other and working on building together, pooling all of our strengths and talents together, and then going out there and dominating and building and growing, that would be the first step. So I totally agree with him where that's concerned. He also talked about a council of elders where we have this group of people that are experienced, have a wealth of wisdom, have been in this game, or in this world even longer than we have, of, the younger generation, the younger demographic, that can really get us in line when things are getting out of control, right? We talked about the gossiping, we talked about the talking about each other, and I'm going to throw in also the backbiting and the competing. As a community, we tend to compete. And also as a community, when we get to a certain level, it's almost as though some of us don't want to share, where we're at. We don't want to take people with us. We say to ourselves, we worked so hard to get here. I can't share my spotlight. I don't want to share my shine, right? So what he's talking about is let's get a group of elders together so that if anybody's beefing, they will get us in line, right? And so I think that's also a great idea. I don't know if you all also catch that he mentioned that his school should be ready by the end of this year, because I know a lot of people have been asking, hey, Dr. Umar, what's going on with your school? You've been talking about this school. It's been over a decade and we're not hearing anything more. So he has said that, God willing, it should be ready by the end of this year. We're looking forward to that. And so, let me know what you all think about this, what Dr. Umar is saying. I'll also be sharing more clips of his time here and the Q&A and some of the things that he shared with us. And again, drop your comments in the chat. Let's talk about it further. Thanks so much for tuning in, and I shall see you again.